Hi everyone, Sarah here. Today we're going to go through the Icarus Chatbot and MCP demos for you guys. So the Icarus Chatbot is made to help users connect to different enterprise data systems and data lakes, all through a natural language interface. So to dive right in, as you can see down in the bottom left of the UI is where you can actually select which model you'll be working off of. For the sake of today's demo, we'll be using Qwen 2.5. You can also upload files, use voice to prompt, and then down here in the bottom right, this hamburger menu, is where you'll be able to configure the MCP server settings. So we've already created applets for both Snowflake and Aurora separately. If you would like to learn how to create your MCP server to use on Icarus, then we have a separate video and documentation you can find in the description down below. So I'll go ahead and get both the Aurora applet ID and the Snowflake applet ID added. You'll see it's a very quick process, just like that. We are now connected to Aurora. And then we'll name this Snowflake, add this applet ID, and boom, just like that, you're connected. So now that we're back in the chat interface, what we're going to go ahead and do is add a couple prompts in here. So for Aurora, let's go ahead and ask to show us the schema for the Chinook database, which is just a data set that we put together based on musical artists, albums, and management services. So we asked for the schema, and very quickly it's returning all of this information for album, artist, customer, everything that you could need from this specific data set. While this is finishing loading, we're going to go ahead and get in the next question. And we'll ask, based on all of this, a lot of information, we'll ask it to show us any 5 artists from this particular database. And you could do that with any given data, piece of data in the chatbot. So now that that's done, we'll go ahead and ask for it to return any 5 artists from this specific database. And just like that, it returned 5 for us. And then lastly, let's ask for all the genres from this particular database. And then it's thinking, it's getting some information, pulling directly from Aurora. And then let's ask it to, yes, please give us all the genres from the database. We'll just give it a moment to think. And then there you have it. It will return all of the different genres from this database. Awesome. So that's a little bit of just preview for Aurora. Now let's open a new chat, and we're actually going to look through something similar for Snowflake. So let me go ahead and grab my prompt from over here. We're going to have it describe the schema, gave it a couple instructions around specifically what we're looking for. Take a minute to process. As you can see, it is getting all this information for us. And we do have a lot of data. So I'm going to go ahead and skip forward to when it finishes returning this response. All right, now that it has returned all this wonderful information for us, we're going to go ahead and ask it to also describe the schema in Snowflake. Now it's working on getting that back for us. Just like that, everything is coming through. Given this is also going to be a long response, we'll go ahead and skip forward to when it finishes returning the data. Now that it's returned this, let's ask it one final prompt to get all the rows specifically for the demo date time. Now it's running. And one more time, it's getting all of this very specific information from the Snowflake dataset. Now that we've gone through and gotten all of this data from Snowflake, I'm actually going to take you over to the Wheelchain Block Explorer to take a look at what's happening under the hood. So as I mentioned, over at unwhale.me is going to be our block explorer for Wheelchain. So Wheelchain is a globally distributed sharded blockchain. Each shard is called a wheel pod, and you can see those represented here on the left. So these pods represent independent execution environments, each isolated by a geographic region. So for this demo, we have pods deployed in US East, US West, and South Asia, and a fourth internal testing region. So all of these pods are composed of multiple nodes, as you can see here. So there's 57 nodes in total across the network to provide resiliency and redundancy. So let's say I'm located in US West. Whenever I run an action on Icarus, like querying Snowflake or uploading a file, that action is executed within my local pod. So my data never leaves the region. It's processed and cryptographically stored in that same US West-based pod. So whenever we talk about data sovereignty for AI, this is exactly what we mean. You define the geographic boundary, and Wheelchain guarantees that the execution, storage, and audit trails all remain inside it, whether or not it's an AI action. Now let's actually click into the pod and see a little bit more about what has been going on. So this is the US East pod. That's actually not the one that I am in right now. It will be this US West pod here. So under transactions, you could see all of the different actions that we were taking. We'll go ahead and click in here for a little bit more information just to take a peek at. So you'll see that there's actually zero exposure of any sensitive data or anything that was being done on the chatbot. Only what is needed for verification is visible. So, and even that is only surfaced through a permissioned internal audit. So when we talk about regional control, full transparency, and cryptographic integrity, this is exactly what we mean, and it's all by design on the Woodlake platform. So let's go ahead and actually go back over to our chatbot now, and we're going to showcase one final capability, which is going to be the file search. So let's take a asset tokenization document, just for example, from earlier this year in January, and we'll ask it, summarize this document for us. And it should give us a pretty nice overview of everything that it contains. So while it's running this, I'll also note that you can use different forms of media or different forms of files. We also have capability for Microsoft documents, for, PowerPoints, all of that good stuff. And of course, you can ask more in-depth questions for the documents that you upload. This could be something where potentially a personalized company document could be uploaded, and it's going to stay safe and secure, at the same time auditable of who's asking what questions, what kind of sensitive information is being showcased to the users, all of that good stuff. So thank you so much for joining today for the quick overview and demo of the Icarus platform, and we hope that you use it and ask as many questions as you'd like. Thanks, everybody.